Welcome back to the Artie Lange Show, talking with actor, comedian Joey Diaz. So, Joe, tell us how you get the part in the movie is Grudge Match. Tell us how you start working with De Niro and Stallone. You say you work more with De Niro.
Right, I did everything with De Niro.
Stallone was done by the time with the movie, right?
Done.
Okay.
You know who else was in the movie? What's he's real busy lately. He was in Freebie and the Bean. It was him and James Caan.
Alan Arkin.
Alan Arkin's.
That's a movie they don't talk about.
Yeah.
Freebie and the Bean.
Nobody talks about that movie.
You're one of the few people that's ever...
Come on, I'm the real deal.
I love
fucking
Dan. You know Freebie and the Bean, Dan?
Absolutely.
Oh,
the best.
Great.
James Caan as a cop, the best.
Classic buddy comedy about two cops ever.
The best.
So now, okay, Alan Arkin's in it too.
Alan Arkin is Stallone's trainer, Kim Basinger.
Wow.
Kevin Hart.
And you play a guy who teaches De Niro how to box?
Right, I'm the loser boxing coach at LL Cool J's gym. They're 66.
Wow.
They've already had 2 fights, and this is the grudge match, him and Stallone.
Okay. So it's a comedy.
It's a comedy.
Right.
He comes in to get trained. LL Cool J passes him on to me.
Nice. So you got a big part.
Couple days. That's it.
Well, not bad.
But listen, like I said, I'm a Cuban kid from North Bergen with felonies.
What does that mean?
That's De Niro, baby boy. That's De Niro, baby boy.
You got felonies.
It's not like I went to Juilliard or I was on off-Broadway.
Quite frankly, I got 2 felonies myself.
Yeah, they're fun. If you don't have a felony, I don't even talk to you no more. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to hang out with you. You're a rat anyway.
Now, how does it... Exactly. How do you not have a felony? You're a rat.
Yeah, how do you not have a felony?
Now, how do you go to this... Now, explain your podcast, Testicle Testaments.
Well, no. Testicle Testaments is a thing I do on iTunes. In '98, when I moved to LA, it was doing the vagina monologues.
Right.
So I said, how about let's do Testicle Testaments about what it is to be a man, what really happened. You know, not like you gave the neighbor a stabbing, but something good, something like, something that happened to you. Yeah. So I had like Scott Wolf do it, I had Dice do it.
A manly thing. Right.
Something that happened. And when the storytelling came back on the horizon a couple of years ago, I just put them together.
You got to talk to us. This guy, no one has more manly. This guy played NFL, 5 years with the Raiders, 2 with the Eagles.
He's a savage.
Pennsylvania kid. His forehead would bleed because he got hit in the head so much, and now he's an intellectual. The guy tweets like crazy. You got to hear the filter.
Yeah.
But no, so I mean, this guy would be. Don't you think you'd be great for that?
I would love it. Yeah.
Love it. And every time you're in LA,
let's talk manly stuff.
Yeah, manly stuff. Just what.
Grunt.
Well, I'm not talking about smacking somebody.
Right.
I'm talking about something that swept you off your feet that you realized you were a man.
Right.
Something off color that
something
made
you impressed yourself almost. Well, wow, that was
right. Like you were like, this is what I could do. Okay, I'm off and running. The podcast is called The Church of What's Happening Now. I do it twice a week at 6 in the morning.
The Church of What's Happening Now.
Yeah, I do it 6 in the morning.
6 in the morning,
twice a
West
week.
Coast.
West Coast, so it's 9 o'clock here.
Now, how do you keep yourself busy most of the time? Is it stand-up comedy?
LA for acting is dead, and that's why the podcasts have taken off.
Unless you're in the club.
Unless you're in the club,
right.
and I'm in no club.
Right.
So, you know what, man? I lost 115 pounds. I went to Weight Watchers, and I jumped in the pool, and I kickboxed.
Well, you probably saved your life.
Yeah, I went to the heart doctor, and he said that I had a couple scars on there from the blow, but we could put this together. My heart had like a picture of Pedro Obregon on it. What's his name? Pedro? Escobar. Pablo.
Wait, no, wait. How much blow did you do?
I used 27. I'm a Jersey kid. I was right here when it was $30. You go to 100. I used to walk over that George Washington Bridge with my head down.
Right.
I used to go over there. Someone said they gave me a job.
You got to be careful because it's so much pure nowadays.
Well, listen, it's been 7 years that I just stopped one day. No rehab, no hug.
You just had to stop doing it.
I just had to stop.
Well, I had a similar thing with coke because I haven't done coke since June the 14th, 1997. Last time I ever did it.
Wow.
And I mean, I got through my head that I had to stop young because it was destroying my life. My life was chaos from it. I did a week in LA County for possession of it. I got out of there. That still didn't wake me up. I still did it another year after that. And
I got off. You know what the craziest thing was? I did it for all that time, and I had a buddy in Jersey who was on heroin. I called him one day, and he goes, I'm going to Newark to get $3 bags. I said, send me a couple.
$3 bags.
When you talk to somebody on the phone, and they're like, I went to get cheesecake, you go, send me something. You get off the phone, you forget about it. 4 days later, I go to my mailbox. He's from Jersey, and there it is in like crayon.
$3 bags.
He sent $3 bags of heroin.
Oh.
So I would do like a little line on Mondays and not do coke the whole week. After the whole summer,
I know, but see, the $3 bag was strong enough to snort?
Yeah, that's all I would do is snort.
Wow, yeah, well, that's
just one little line.
Too, but you got to be careful because then when you get immune to it, then you got to shoot it.
Well, once I was immune to it, I said I got to do something, and
Good
I stopped.
See,
and that was 7 years ago.
A lot of people don't do that. So you went from coke to
a summer of heroin
to stop.
But here's the summer of heroin. I'm like, I haven't done coke or something. Maybe I'm onto something. Maybe heroin cures cocaine addiction. I got to get to 60
Well, sure,
minutes.
because it's another addiction.
Yeah, it's a different addiction, but I didn't know that I was just scratching the
You know,
bar
then
from
cures
Peter.
heroin is meth.
That's a good
And then
one.
meth,
yeah.
you know, what cures meth is dying.
And then, no, the Michael Jackson thing, some tubes and some
Could
oxygen.
you imagine,
and three
you imagine you
doctors
get all that
jumping
money
up
and you
down.
become addicted to propofol? Like, what? I remember when he died, I said, my God, this guy's doing stuff
Yeah, I
I've
gotta
never
get.
heard
Yeah,
of.
he was way. He just got.
Yeah.
He had like 3 people showing up with a tube.
You talk about addiction. This guy basically opened up an operating room in his house with a doctor. Putting him, I mean, that is crazy.
What were they paying him a month? 100
150 grand.
100 grand to shoot him
150
up. and rub
large
his-
this guy got.
He was getting put under anesthesia.
Yeah.
Actually.
How strong is
For
that?
fun.
How strong is that?
That's
You know
what they call it. It's like that.
You know
It's
what?
milk. They used to call it milk of amnesia. It looks like white milk. It's thick stuff, and they put an IV in you, and they put it through you, and you go. It's like a few minutes of complete euphoria, and then you're out. You're done. But you sleep 72 hours. You know.
Can you imagine, Artie, I want to write a
tough
new
when you-
album. Why don't you shoot me up with some of that, whatever, and stick needles in my eyeballs while I'm out for 72
well, that's the
hours?
problem. Unfortunately, the poor guy had needles all over him. But you imagine, it's tough to raise 3 kids when you sleep 72 hours in a clip.
Yeah.
You know, you need help. You need help is what I'm
help.
saying.
Yeah.
So now, how often do you do the podcast?
Twice a week.
Wow.
And I do it early because I get up early. And a lot of times I get up and I put the news on.
You're attacking life.
No, but the whole thing is you put the news on, and all of a sudden they got about the kid who got hit by a car, the coach who raped the kid. You
Terrible
got like 12
news.
standing-
Terrible news.
By 10 to 7, they hit you with like the Chinese kid that's blind and plays the drum. So you get happy
feel-good
at the
story.
end. But by that time, you already had 2 margaritas.
Right.
Because you can't even get in your car because there's
a feel-good
There's a
story,
feel-good
man.
story. So
You're
I
too
figured
sad.
I'm gonna get on there at 6 o'clock and talk and get people pumped and play some music.
Well, listen,